90% of people that start calisthenics have one main goal in common, that is learning the full planche and front lever, the two hardest skills in all of calisthenics. But the mistake that almost everybody does is that they start training for it right away, which is 100% wrong. Well, let me tell you why. The front lever and full planche require a shit ton of strength and require specific technique and training. And although just training for them specifically does seem logical, as a beginner, you don't have the enough strength and structure to start training for them immediately. The best way to start training for the skills is by first building a strong structure. That means getting strong with pull-ups, push-ups, dips, and pike push-ups, or even handstand push-ups. After you master these basics, then you need to start weighted calisthenics. That means getting strong with weighted pull-ups and weighted dips. These two exercises have everything you need in order to get all the strength in your back as well as your shoulder and chest. And of course, it goes without saying that if you can do certain variations of one exercise, or do an easier variation, or just use bands to make the exercise easier for you. And if you're already saying, bro, you're just spitting out bullshit, you don't know anything about what you're saying. Well, let me tell you that I've been training calisthenics for almost 2 years now. I've barely even trained for the full planche in my starting years. I only trained bodyweight exercises as well as weighted calisthenics. I achieved a PR of 80 kilograms on weighted dips and about 50 kilograms on weighted pull-ups. I then started correct and efficient training on the full planche, and within 1 month of training, I was able to hold a decent 3 seconds hold of full planche. As it goes, by the way, for the weighted calisthenics progression, I will probably also make another tutorial for this, so make sure to subscribe with the notification bell to be notified when that comes out. Now, you probably should have gained a decent amount of pulling strength and pushing strength with weighted calisthenics, weighted dips, and weighted pull-ups, and you can now implement that strength and implement full planche and front lever into your workout. Now let me tell you how exactly you should train for them. Okay, so now whether your first workout is full planche or front lever, it goes without saying that the exercise that you want to, or the skill that you want to progress the most in, always goes first. So now for the full planche, for your first training of the week, you're gonna train 2 weeks, by the way. Okay, so for the first training of your week, you will do 3 different exercises. 2 exercises will have 3 sets each, and then you will do 1 more exercise for 1 set. So the first exercise is maximum hold. Do the easier variation. You can get a very long hold. If you can, go for even like 8 seconds hold, but use an assistance band so that you know that your form is good. If your form is good, you will not progress at all. The form is the most important thing that you need to work on. For your second exercise, you will do max push-ups. Again, you will do the easier variation that you can, and you need to make sure that your form is good. Also, make sure to record yourself if you want to, and if you can, because that is basically the best way to know if your form is good or not. Now, for the final exercise, you will do just 1 set, which is about 60 to 70% of your max push-ups, and then just hold. This is one of the best ways to progress, and because it's the start of the week, I recommend that is how you train for it in the start, because you don't want to get too tired, because you want to actually use your weekend to recover. Now, for the first exercise of your front lever, it's basically the exact same thing. Just first exercise 3 sets max hold, 3 exercises, 3 sets max pulls, and of course remember, good form, record yourself if you can, and you can also watch other athletes that do the exact same exercise, so you know if your form is actually good or not. And then 1 final set of 60 to 70% of your max pulls, and then just hold. Now for your 2 last days of your front lever and full planche. For your second full planche workout, you will do the exact same thing, but with the harder variation. And it's okay if you don't do, like, for your hold, aim for at least 4 to 6 seconds, and for your push-ups, aim for at least maybe like 4 to 5 push-ups. And it doesn't matter, and your last reps don't matter that much if your form is not good, but of course don't make your form absolutely terrible. That goes without saying, of course. But now, what is different? For the last exercise, instead of doing just one set of 60 to 70% of your max push-ups and then just holding, you will do this for 3 different sets, and you can still use the harder variation, because you will use the weekend as your recovery. Because if you did this in the start of the weekend, you wouldn't recover as much, and you will still have strength to push yourself to the maximum and have 2 days of full rest. And as you may have guessed, the exact thing goes for your last front lever training of your week. You do the exact same thing, not too short of a hold, but also not too long. Aim for at least maybe 5 to 6 seconds. And of course, your pulls, do the harder variation and aim for at least 4 to 5 pulls. And again, as you may have guessed, you, instead of doing on just one set of 60 to 70% of your max pulls and then just hold, you will do that for 3 sets. Also, let me not forget, for the first 3 weeks to your first month, at the end of each workout, do 3 sets of planche leans. Planche leans may be the best way to train your shoulders to be prepared for when you actually get into that full planche position. So as you can see, training for the front lever and full planche is not as hard as you may have thought. You just need to spend a lot of time training your basics, building a good structure with weighted calisthenics, and then you can jump off to the front lever and full planche. If you have any questions, make sure to drop them down in the comments. Subscribe if you liked the video and if it was actually helpful. Make sure to turn the notifications bell to be notified for more content, and I'll see you next time.